Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining Acacia Counseling and Wellness on our Wellness and Love webinar series. The webinar came together when we at Acacia wanted to find a new way to engage the community during these unprecedented times. Mental health will always be a priority to us, and this was one way we could continue providing resources, engagement, and opportunity to share wellness and love. Join us in the push for self-care and the enlightenment of mental health every week in June on YouTube Live. Today's guest is Karen. They'll be providing us a discussion around coping and staying energized during COVID. This session will be open for your questions and comments, so please use that chat feature on this webinar. We encourage your feedback and engagement, and it's going to be really helpful for us to stimulate conversation and really connect with you all. The webinar will also be available on our YouTube channel following the session, so please subscribe to our channel to watch more of our videos and to participate in the rest of the webinars this June. Before we get started, we also wanted to introduce a few key resources that we have found to be pretty valuable. Acacia is part of the Minnesota community, and we also know what's happening is not just affecting that city, but cities all over the world. If you're looking for ways to continue to help and support as the push isn't over, you can start here, but we encourage you also do some research on your end, whether it's for Minneapolis or the community that you are a part of. As a counseling company, we know that it will take everyone's effort to help heal from trauma, process the deep-rooted racism, discrimination, and murder of our Black and Brown communities, and to demand justice. We thank everyone who's contributed and are having dialogues, including our own providers who are helping clients during this time. Lastly, if you're feeling that things are too heavy to bear right now, please use the crisis line. That's texting home to 741-741. Thank you again for joining us today. We ask that you engage and participate as much as you can, and I'm so happy to introduce Karen.
Hi, can you hear me? Perfect.
All right, hi guys. So we came up with this event today just to get some time to decompress as a group or as a community. So yeah, grab your cup of tea, your cup of coffee in my case, and let's settle down and talk about the things that bring us peace, joy in such a rough time in the world, in the nation. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was ways in which I find peace. And I think the most calming thing for me right now is working on artwork. So just acrylic art. I've been really getting into watercoloring because I got this as a gift, which is really nice. So yeah, I think any type of art or expression really gives you time to settle in and find peace with yourself and express yourself through different media. I know one of my housemates is really into collaging. She actually made me a really beautiful piece. Let me grab it. This little thing right here. And on that note, I think sending letters to friends, maybe with your artwork attached, is a great way to still stay connected with your community at a time like this. And it's a cute way as well. All right. Another thing I've been doing to stay active, because as we know that COVID-15 is actually a real thing. I roller skate a lot. At least I've been trying to. I do get scared of falling on my butt. But yeah, that's one way that I stay active, and also just going on walks with my mask on is something that really brings me a lot of joy and peace, and I get to pick flowers and, you know, breathe fresh air, not my stale bedroom air. So yeah, that's something I stay active doing. Also, I love to garden. Gardening is a big thing that brings me a lot of peace. Like pulling weeds, getting in there, picking your own veggies. Oh, I see that Danielle said one of her best friends founded a skate club in Santa Barbara. Oh, that's amazing. I would love to join them. Oh, my grandma's really into art and painting. Oh, FaceTiming, that's a great way. FaceTiming and painting, that's a great way to stay connected. Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah. Yeah, our garden in my house is basically all tomatoes. It's insane. I don't know, these tomatoes grow like weeds over here. Um, yeah. Um, I'm also really into DIYing. We've really My partner and I have been into DIYing for the garden. So we recently made our own garden bed using just like some plywood and um, creating like a little post. And it's really nice. Oh, I love the feedback, you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, Andrea. We're basically growing tomatoes. We are also growing corn, which is interesting. Growing basil, two different types of mint. Um, let's see, what else do we have in the garden? We have a bunch of. Do you guys know that the mammoth sunflowers that grow giant? We planted a bunch of those and they're really taking off right now. So we're super excited to see those grow. Um, Bell peppers. We have an avocado tree that has grown one avocado. um, so that's exciting. Let's see. Yeah, and we have a lot of squash. The squash just takes over the garden actually, so we've been trying to cut it back. Um, so yeah, that's basically all of our goodies in the garden. Uh, so on the note of DIYs and gardening, I think something that's really fun about the Santa Barbara community is that there's so many college students getting rid of things, especially as we transition from the school year to summer. So one thing I like to do is like walk around, and if I see something I really like, and I find a way to DIY it. I recently did this with a vanity table, and I painted it and sanded it and did the whole thing, and it's so beautiful now. And I think that's something that is really cool that you can bring into your space for free, um, and just add something that brings you joy into your space on a budget. Oh, Alexis. Fun fact, you can put your green onion and buds into a cup of water and it will completely grow all over again in about a week. Oh, I didn't know it would takes a week. That's very fast. Um, yeah, actually, I just saw that one of my housemates has done that. That's exciting. Mhm. What else? Let's see. Oh yeah, my plant babies. Outside of the garden, I have my own set of indoor plants that I love and nurture, and those bring me a lot of peace and joy. Um, just because you get to watch them grow, and even if you mess it up and forget to water, they do bounce back eventually. um, so yeah, that's something that brings me peace. Let's see what else. Um, Regarding things that you can do indoors, Let's see, what have I been doing? Oh yeah, so I have learned Spanish. Well, I am Mexican and I do speak a little bit of Spanish, but um, it's definitely a little rough. So I've been trying to pick up more Spanish by reading books in Spanish that are relatively easy. This one's by Marcela Serrano called Un Mundo Raro, Dos Relatos Mexicanos. It's just a very easy book, but there are some words that really get my brain going and make me have to figure it out, which is nice, which is what you want when you're trying to learn a language. Let's see what else. One thing that my housemates and I do is we have a day we pick to do arts and crafts. We call it wine and art when we sit around and drink wine and create artwork. It's a beautiful, wonderful, messy thing. So one thing we've been really doing recently is working on a lot of art that promotes social justice. My housemate and I recently created an altar for George Floyd that highlighted him, but also highlighted other members of the Black community that have passed away from police violence. And that was something that was really, in a way, cathartic for us. And yeah, I think it really helped us process our emotions. Something else we were doing, we're just making Black Lives Matters signs, like protest posters. We are on a main street, so what we have done is we've created giant posters that say that promote BLM, and we posted them up on our windows, and that has really, I think, helped us protest and show our support for the community in a way that keeps us safe while social distancing. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess right now I just would like to ask you guys what you do that brings you joy. Okay, so I'm just going to read through some of your comments. Um, oh, Daniela, your plant family has grown exponentially over quarantine. Mine too. I definitely feel that. I love those memes that like show people like before quarantine and after, and they have a whole garden of a whole jungle, honestly. Um, ooh, yeah, propagating babies, plant babies. That's fun, especially with succulents because it's so easy to propagate those. Uh, hmm. Game nights with housemates. Yeah, game nights and movie nights are really fun. Um, Cooking and baking, yeah. I wish I enjoyed cooking. um, I do like baking, but yeah, maybe that's something I can work on during quarantine. Mm, Cool days with friends prior to COVID-19. Yeah, I miss that too. I miss it too. Yes, can't forget the eating part. Oh, yeah, this gave me an idea of something my housemate did. She DIY'd her own haircut, which is something that is kind of tricky because it can go bad. But at least you get to grow it out in in private, um, if you do mess it up. I've been thinking about bleaching my hair. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do it? Yeah. Oh, Danielle said, I've been enjoying social distance beach walks and collecting driftwood, planning some art projects. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I've actually created some mobiles with beach driftwood, which is, oh, I'm loving all the support for bleaching my hair. Thank you. um, yeah, I've created a lot of mobiles with driftwood and other little knickknacks I found around the house, which is nice. Oh, so I wasn't involved in this, but there's this Chinese tradition of if you make 1,000 paper cranes, you get granted a wish. And my housemates actually made 1,000 paper cranes during quarantine, which is nice. Um, Now we just need to figure out what to do with those 1,000 cranes. Mm, let's see. What else? Oh, um, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Home Depot has a little section of oopsie paints that allow you to get like a gallon or sample size paints for a very cheap amount of money. I think the sample size is 50 cents. So I've been kind of hoarding those and saving them for like art projects. Um, I think eventually I'm going to try to mural one of my walls, which might not be good for renters, but um, maybe you can just paint over it when you move out. That's, yeah. I think that's something that would be fun, creating like a big project for yourself, um, and expending that gives you something to really work on, um, and really think about. I know for the not so creative types like my partner, he our house doesn't really have any AC, so he bought his own um, like window unit AC and like engineered his own way of putting it um, into his window, and I think that's something that's really awesome, for people who are, as he says, completely uncreative and sees no need to create art. It's pretty funny, actually. Yeah.
What is the question?
So the question I have here is: have there been any activities or routines that you've maybe tried during COVID that just haven't worked for you?
During COVID that haven't worked for me. Let's see. Well, I tried to stick to getting up really early, um, and that just kind of flew out the windows. Um, so even though I'm not connected with people um, face to face as much as I would, and I try to reach out to people. Sorry, I'm pouring myself some more coffee. Got a whole French press. Um, through social media, I am one of those people that find it really exhausting, and I do have to give myself breaks from social media. So I think even though we try to stay connected with people online and through these different platforms, um, I still think it's important for people to take breaks from social media, um, especially right now since we're being bombarded with. Oh, Andrea said she's been remodeling her brother's room. Oh yeah, remodels. Oh wow, how fun! What a big project. Definitely. Corby said he's tried working from home, needed to head back to the office. Ah, good for you to have that option. Yeah, actually, related to that, something that hasn't worked out for me is um, studying in my room because I'm too comfortable here. I have to like leave the room, and um, I'm really lucky that I live in a large house because I live in a co-op. We have space downstairs with our own library and an auditorium, and I I like to be able to walk around and switch places and think that I'm walking around campus, which I'm not, but just being given the freedom to switch up where you can study is nice. I would recommend that for people. Mm.
And were you in college this previous quarter?
Oh yes, college during quarantine.
Yeah, could you
That
talk?
was
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
um, yeah, so quarantine really took off during winter and all of spring. Um, I know at the end of winter quarter, it was just such a confusing mess, and it's for myself personally. I have a partner who is someone who's at risk because he has um, a lot of lung issues. He's had lungs collapse before in the past. So for me, that was really, really anxiety inducing, and I kind of really had to take a step back and email my professors and be like, I'm not okay. I'm stressing out. And I think communicating with your professors about what is going on is so important, especially when it's such a weird. Let's see. Any tips for remote learning? Um, Outside of switching up where you study, I think creating a schedule for when you are learning, as you would like a regular school year, is so important. Um, Treat it like a job. Treat it like a 9 to 5. Give yourself hours to work, and then give yourself a break, and then get back in it. I think that's the way to do it. Because otherwise, you you tell yourself you're gonna do it later, push it back, and eventually you get behind, and it's not a good time. Alexa says, you're an adult when going to Home Depot. Sounds like fun. I actually have always loved Home Depot, even as a child. It's interesting. I love the smell of Home Depot. Oh, Danielle. Exactly. Smell of like wood shavings is just so comforting. Let's see. What have you guys done that has allowed you to successfully attend Zoom University, as I like to call it? Now I'm just so on track and so on schedule all the time versus having like an actual planner. This one was for this year, and as you can imagine, it's untouched, completely unused. I saw that some memes were like, yeah, the worst investment I made this year was buying a planner. Which is kind of true, kind of untrue. I don't know. I think it is still good to keep yourself on a schedule. Jennifer says, without them, I feel like I'm more likely to forget. Definitely, I am someone whose attention span is 5 seconds long, and that's it. So I found and keeping yourself on schedule and giving yourself like 30 minutes before an event starts. Like those notifications are really, really helpful because if you, like me, have a 9:30 section, you're most likely going to sleep in if you don't get those notifications. Talush says, I was only taking one class, but definitely finding a sturdy table and a place designated to study helped me. Oh yeah, definitely. I've tried studying on our couch and I just get too comfortable and I take a nap. Andrea says, I have to limit the amount of time I study and do work on my bed, or else I'll fall asleep. Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's actually proven that it is bad for you to study on your bed because it interrupts your sleep schedule because your body relates it to you being productive. Um, so, yeah, definitely do not recommend studying in bed. All right, yeah. We have gone over the 30-minute mark, so if we want to start wrapping this up, do you have any last questions for me? Or any more coping tips? Let me see. I know I mentioned like stepping back from social media, and some way that allows me to stay connected is calling people. Um, I know younger generations and my generation don't find calling people really odd, but I really enjoy it. I like hearing people's voices. Um, so that's something I do to stay connected. Um, let's see. Yeah, Corby said it's important to reset. And I think that's really true too. Because, like, when we're at home, it's just you stuck in your thoughts. And yeah, I think taking time for yourself to refocus is really important. Zoom and FaceTimes with friends has kept me sane. Oh, this is a good question. Really great question, Jennifer. Um, COVID has definitely had its challenges, but what's something positive you'll take away from this experience? I think it's given me, I think this experience has given me a lot of patience with myself. Um, it's definitely allowed me to be more empathetic with myself and, not be so rough on my person because it is such a hard time right now. What is that emoji, Corby? It's very cute. Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway, don't be so hard on yourself and allow yourself time to breathe and unwind and, as you guys said, reset.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for joining us today. This has been really awesome. I am so happy that everyone has been engaging, and hopefully we can all take away something. Yeah, I mean, I challenge you. I love that, like being empathetic with yourself, and you know, it's so important as we keep going because the pandemic's not over. It's still there. That we keep checking in with ourselves and giving ourselves the space and the time and the energy we would, or what we'd like to think that we would normally. But yes, thank you so much, Karen.
Of course.
Um, so later today, we have Maddie Coulter, who is a therapist in our Minneapolis office. She will be joining us for her toolbox on quarantine. So she'll be coming from a therapist perspective, and maybe what are some of the things that she has done with her clients, or with those in her office, includes other providers, psychologists and psychiatrists, nurse practitioners, things like that. So she'll be coming from that, and she'll also be doing a little bit of art at the same time as well. So if you want to just bring some art and doodle or do whatever you'd like to kind of just talk through that, she'll be bringing her toolbox for quarantine. And then next week we have JAMIAH, who will be doing a low impact full body workout. So not only is this our last webinar that we will be having for Wellness and Love for at least this quarter, we would love to end it out on something really fun and something really energizing. So if you are available at 9 a.m., if not, you now have a free workout session that you could play at any time. And JAMIAH is really great, and she'll be joining us from Connecticut. So she'll be doing some little long distance workout with us all. So thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. You can follow Karen on Instagram as well. It is in the comments. And we'd love to continue conversations and keep the dialogue going within our communities. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate that, so you can see the rest of our videos and you can see the live streams that have already been for the past month. And then be ready for later this evening at 5 p.m. Pacific California time, 7 p.m. for those in Minnesota. But yes, thanks so much.